It's 2025 and long-range precision shooting has never been easier thanks to all these new and amazing products. But are they reliable? Can you count on them, and do they actually work? Well, today we're going to put some 22 long rifle 40 grain bullets into the wind using the AB Quantum app and the Calypso wind meter, and we're going to see if what it gives us is reality. So let's get to shooting. So first things first, let me introduce you into the equipment we're going to be using today. This is my Mod X Rim X. This is of course a 22 long rifle repeater. We have the Razor Gen 3 with a trigger cam on it. That's what you're going to be seeing while we shoot. And on this end, you may not be as familiar with this kit. This is my match setup. So the tripod and rig that I use. So this table is a Rytec Industries Bagdeck Pro. This is what I mount everything on. I use these Match ED binos during the match so that I can range, observe, look at trace, make determination, see where people are shooting. So pretty typical spotting setup. Here we do have an extension with the Calypso, and of course all this mounts to my Bagdeck Pro. So it's a really convenient setup for me. I even have a phone holder here, so I'll be running the AB app, and when I'm spotting it at a match, I'll be running it there. For today, I'm gonna screen record the app so you guys can see the wind calls that this is picking up and what it's telling me to shoot. Also what I'm holding and where in reality the bullet is actually going at these distances. All right, we are in a little bit of a wind lull right now, and I'm staying kind of low in the frame because there's a lot of stuff. We got the screen recording going on. You guys are gonna be seeing the trigger cam. What we're gonna do is just use this lull in the wind to kind of figure out what we need to do. So 100 is saying 1.7. We're already dialed up a tenth for this. So we're gonna go to 1.8 on our dial. And we're just gonna check at 100, kind of where we're hitting. There's basically no wind right now. So a little bit of right to left. Let's see what it was calling for. Yeah, so it's actually telling me at 100 to hold 0.1 right. And like I said, we're gonna wait for some wind to kick up, but, oh, there it comes right there. All right, so it's telling us 0.4. So let's go after this little guy here. Okay, worked well on there. We're gonna hold that same hold. Oh, that was a fast round. There we go. Might need to knock a tenth out of that. So far our wind value was right. Let's go ahead and push to 150. We're gonna have more wind out there. So we're gonna have to dial to, let's call it 4. I'm gonna check your guys' parallax. One important thing about this AB Quantum though, and this Calypso, is that I've set up the app so that it's looking, the azimuth is set here, and this is always facing kind of to your direction of fire. That's going to give you a realistic wind hold. Let me turn this guy on. We're gonna parallax to 150. That looks pretty good. All right, so we got a big gust right now. At 150, it's telling us 0.9 to 1 right. It's of course dying right now. Let's cut that in half. 0.5 wind is back down. Okay, and you can see that smoke come off there. So yeah, right now we're having a 0.37, and then at its peak where it's telling us 1. So right now it's 0.37. That is working out really well. Let's go to the top of this guy. We're an old 1/2 mil. Yeah, look where that bullet hit on that target. So far, pretty good actually. And I shot this setup with this AB Quantum and this Calypso in a match the night before the X match that you guys saw on camera. And it got so dark I didn't record. But in a big open field, this thing was really good. And we had 10 plus mile-an-hour winds. So this thing was giving me wind calls and they were spot on. I mean, it was working really well. And I'll dub in some B-roll because I was actually using something from the Freedom Shack. It's a digital dope card that basically mirrors the phone. So what you guys are seeing on the phone for the screen record, I was seeing right here on the optic, and I was testing that. Now for me personally, there was a lot going on with trying to run a course of fire and looking back at this kind of smaller print. But it was giving me real-time wind conditions and wind holds, and I was using those and I was impacting targets with those. Now I didn't use that in the X match, but if you're shooting like long gong or F-class and those kind of things are legal, that's a very powerful tool. And it seems to work really well when you're in an open field setting because you're getting all the same wind. Now here, where this is kind of in a wooded area, let's see what we're calling right now. So right now we're down to 0.25. in a wooded area, this can be not as great. Let's see, it's calling 0.2. Okay, that was a hit. Let's go to this target. Let's go back and aim at that same impact. We'll put 0.2. So yeah, we were a little bit more right to left. And what I will say is the more you shoot in and around obstacles, the more this becomes less reliable, right? So this is predicting wind at you. If the wind out there is a different condition, especially talking about center fire, then this becomes less reliable. This can only read wind at your position. Now, if you're in a big open field and the wind conditions are relatively the same, this thing has proven to be very, very accurate. But you've also got to take into account what you're shooting through. Here we have woods on both sides, we have creeks running through here, we have different things. So wind is going to be like water. It's going to flow in the path of least resistance. So when you get in areas where there's a windbreak, you need to consider how much of that period you're shooting across has that windbreak. And if there's a big funnel at the end, it may be 5 miles an hour here, but in a big funnel out there, it could be accelerating and that wind could be worse. Let's see what we got here at 150. Wind is picking up 0.4. Let's see, 0.4, 0.5 right now. So pretty generically a half mil. And see there, we hit on the right side of it, a little bit too much. And then there it was on. So it is pretty close. Let's go back after this guy, half mil to the top there. So yeah, a little bit too much there. And the wind is kind of knocking down 0.3. Here we go, picking up. Let's see what we can do, about 0.8. No, and that was off right. So that was a little bit too much, even though this was telling me 0.5 to 0.8 in the peak. Here we have some woods, so you got to take that into account. Hey boy, it's picking up. I'm reloading, of course, when it's picking up. It's telling me 1.1 to 1.2. All right, I got to get on the gun here. 1.1 to 1.2. And that was way off. It's feeling it here, and now it's switching. Still saying 1 mil to the right, but in this condition, that is definitely not the call. I would say it's about a half mil out there. There we go. So, good example of here, there's a funnel. We have an opening, the wind's coming up. This is reading that wind, but it's not obviously always going to be true for your shooting conditions. All right, we're going to come back into 100 just to make it a little spicier. Get you guys set back up at 100. We're going to shoot at that little 1/4 inch. Get you guys parallaxed. All right, let me top off. And I'm not really able to see this real time because I'm screen recording it on the phone, but you guys are going to be seeing it real time. So I'm going to kind of glance at it, make that wind correction at 100 yards, hold that on the 1/4 inch, which is super not forgiving, right? But you guys are going to be able to see because it's going to change. This is changing basically real time. So let me see if I can set this up to where I can see it. All right, so it's telling me 0.2 right, 0.3 right. All right, I'm going to come in a little bit on magnification here. All right, so 0.3 right to 0.4. Off left. Let's go increase it to point. Let's go 0.5 as wind's picking up. Just under a half mil. Nope. See if we can find it. 0.4. Nope. 0.3. Oh, that was way hot and way left. All right, so right now it's telling us 0.4 to 0.5. We're gonna do that, half mil. Just off the right. Go to 0.4. There it is. 0.4 was an impact. It was telling me, right now it's saying it's at 0.3. Wind is dying. Oh, and that was correct. Ceiling 0.2 now. Let's knock it down to 0.2. Picking up. Went back to 0.3. Yeah, right as the wind value changed there. Going a little off gut too. All right, saying 0.4 right now. Yeah, that did nick it. So again, I just want to double down that this wasn't a promotional video for the Calypso. You know, I bought all this stuff. I paid for the pro version of this app. I bought the wind meter. This is stuff that I genuinely use. And while there is a cost associated with it, I think one, it makes a great training tool if you can bring this out, kind of see what you're feeling, bounce it against the Calypso, but also for matches to get an idea of what your wind holds are. This can be a very accurate setup. And shooting in 2025 really has become not easy, but a lot easier because we have great resources like the MDT Sendits, the SG Pulse Pros for levels. You're always going to have your rifle level. We have built-in timers to help you manage your time on the clock. We have wind meters, really awesome apps. Now, if you're rocking the Kestrel, that's still a really great resource. These are things to consider. This has been a really, really wildly successful tool for me, pairing the AB Quantum app with this Calypso wind meter to help refine my wind holds, to help teach me wind holds. Obviously, there's still a lot to take into account on the shooter perspective. You have to know the conditions you're shooting in. The winds are going to do different things. You will have ranges with opposing winds. So this is not always going to be the answer, but it is a good tool to use, especially if you're shooting in a wide open flat range. Then this thing really, really shines. And even here, it does a pretty good job. But enough of that. I appreciate you guys watching. Catch you on the next one.